gotta lie for? Not one person has been truthful. Not the Ronnie sector, not Chrisean or her sector. Tell her pull his records up if it's a lie. The doctor and nurses that let this slide failed this baby miserably. Fiction lying, the proof is in the child. And she added Chrisean, and it said, tell the people about this record, medical record. What was that in your system and your baby system? And for you weirdos that say I be lying, the only people who lied was her siblings and her friends and associates. Didn't they say the baby was healthy? Charity Ben told you guys his vision was messed up. You see him meet no milestones. Papa Smurf encouraged the bullshit. Said he was growing and healthy. Take your bullshit somewhere else.
Chrisean Rock has dismissed criticism of her parenting, particularly over her son's health, since the child's birth, even while she has insisted that everything is good with her billion-dollar baby. Certain recent events suggest otherwise. Now, a leaked medical paper connected to her son, Chrisean Jr., is making the rounds online, exposing some grave health issues. These disclosures are leaving supporters to question whether the worries expressed throughout were truly warranted. Many people initially believed the criticism to be nothing more than hate speech on the internet, but more research is now being done. Tia Kemp was direct in her criticism of Chrisean's parenting, and it had a powerful impact. While some fans thought she was just angry at Chrisean, others now think she might have noticed something troubling before the rest of us did. After Chrisean was allegedly kicked out of Blueface's Los Angeles property, this contentious debate erupted once more. Then the leak occurred, revealing medical records pertaining to the infant, which appeared to validate the fears of many that Chrisean's decisions may be having an impact on this infant. Let's go back a bit. Even before Chrisean's kid was born, her pregnancy was a subject of intense attention. Internet users were already talking about her troubled and poisonous connection with Blueface. It was messy, from the intermittent drama to family disputes and outbursts. Then, in 2023, the news of the pregnancy was revealed when she shared a string of positive pregnancy tests on Instagram. Her followers went crazy. When she strongly suggested that Blueface was the father, he rejected it right away. And that's when things really started to go south. Blueface would have none of it, he said. Yes, Rock and I are officially done, in a lengthy post. Now, everything is business. I tried, but it didn't give. Then he really got in there. He claimed that the baby could not possibly be his and accused her of having affairs with at least 10 other men. He also brought up the fact that she had been drinking during her pregnancy, and that she was carrying the child. That's not a Blueface baby, he declared outright, calling it a red sign. Despite his icy remarks, admirers were unable to ignore them. The situation worsened when Carlos Saffold, Blueface's mother, intervened. The entire pregnancy, she stated, was a phony, complex fabrication to get attention. No professional would have approved something so dubious, she said. Even questioning the doctors involved, people were perplexed by the conflict between Chrisean's posts, Carlos's accusations that it was a hoax, and Blueface's denial of the baby. However, some of that ambiguity is beginning to resolve itself in light of the medical breach. During her pregnancy, Chrisean was frequently seen on tape doing things that people quickly pointed out. On live feeds, they were drinking, fighting, and acting crazy even though they were obviously pregnant. She continued to insist that everything was okay despite everyone's pleas for her to calm down. For the baby's welfare, the leaked paper is now being thoroughly examined by those same individuals, and many of them are saying, "We told you so," whether it's just or not. Chrisean is being blamed for something that many people think could have been prevented. Now that the medical records are public, opinions are rapidly changing. Those who formerly supported her are beginning to wonder what's actually happening. And it's obvious that the pressure is mounting even if Chrisean hasn't yet formally addressed the leak with supporting data. The baby's health is now a legitimate concern rather than merely hearsay. People want to know if this was an error, bad decision, or something more serious. Although there is still more to be discovered, the narrative is already posing significant queries on celebrity parenting in the public eye. Numerous individuals made an effort to persuade her to cease substance use during her pregnancy. She chose not to listen, even though others were worried and tried to assist. Many hoped that, for the sake of the baby, she would at least take a break. People who were truly concerned, both online and with close friends, sent warnings. She was even publicly advised by others to consider the child's health. Nevertheless, she did not alter her behavior in any discernible way. The more time passed, the more she refused to pop.
And I said, aren't you? And she's like, and I'm like, nigga, there ain't no I'm like, the baby's in the stomach. Like,
going one step further, Carissa Stafford called out Chrisean's sister Tessa, and her pals live on Instagram. She asserted throughout the broadcast that they had witnessed Chrisean abusing drugs while pregnant, but she said that they were terrified and hence remained mute. Carissa claims that they were more concerned with safeguarding their financial resources than with assisting her by remaining silent instead of seeing things unfold. She believed they ought to have intervened. I would have done something if I were in Tessa's shoes, Carissa said. I would have made sure Chrisean got the help she needed, she claimed. Despite Chrisean Rock's obvious history of substance abuse during pregnancy, she continued until the baby was born. Things took a different path when the child finally came in September 2023. A picture of the baby's resemblance to Chrisean was promptly shared on Instagram by Ronnie, one of Chrisean's ex-boyfriends. "You are not the father," he wrote as a caption, adding emoticons and tagging Blueface's account. When Ronnie said that things were getting out of control, she also thanked God. Online buzz increased even more after that post, particularly because Blueface had previously expressed doubts about being the father. Blueface responded to Ronnie's message right away, stating that it supported his assumptions and that he agreed with it. He said that Rock had essentially exposed herself. In his post, "I thought I was tripping too until I saw this." He noted that Ronnie appeared to be echoing his statement. Blueface added, "I got 1 BM into kids till further notice," while sharing a screenshot of the post. He wrote, "This is the best news I got all year." In a subsequent post, "I am free." Additionally, he called the previous DNA test questionable and probably fraudulent. He thought he had no influence over that test. With both Chrisean Rock and Blueface located in Los Angeles, Blueface wondered why the baby was delivered in Baltimore. He said it clicked when he added that Ronnie also lived in Baltimore. Rock subsequently replied to Blueface's tweets expressing her satisfaction that he had decided to avoid her and the child. "I'm glad you won't leave us alone. Bitch," she said to him, "you will still be in the way." She also mentioned a time in the past when he shared a private photo of their child online, claiming that it still bothered her. He had made such a huge mistake that he was now at a loss for things to do, she concluded. Rock eventually asserted that Blueface was the father once more. Despite all of the back and forth, their turbulent relationship continued to make headlines, and Blueface was arrested for violating his probation shortly after the baby was born. In the meantime, after removing another tattoo of his face, Rock received a large one in his honor. Many of her fans were angered by the move because they thought she was making bad decisions. Many social media users unfollowed her as a result. At the reaction, more questions were raised regarding her true focus as a result of her choice. Among others who weren't afraid to criticize Rock's priorities was Tia Kemp. Chrisean Rock have previously argued online, frequently escalating their disagreements into public controversy. Kemp insisted that she put her motherhood first and quit pursuing toxic relationships when Rock had her little big face baby looking like Charles Barkley. She claimed she used to like her in order to help Rock start growing. Kemp also made a joke about him going from Rocky to a pebble and enrolling the infant in daycare. She believed that the infant was not learning to crawl or other critical life skills. People were eager to see the infant reach typical milestones, according to Tia, who continued to criticize. She wanted to check on his crawling and bottle-holding skills. Her remarks raised more questions about whether the child's growth was occurring at a healthy rate. Shortly thereafter, Tia returned to the internet to inquire as to why the infant had not yet begun to walk or run. Her comments raised questions once more regarding the child's growth and whether Rock was indeed putting motherhood first. Into Chrisean didn't remain silent following Kim's critique. She addressed the most recent remarks, which many fans felt came off as more humiliation than genuine care in response. Chrisean advised Kim to refrain from mentioning her in public. She asserted that Kim ought to have called her personally if she genuinely cared. Cash believes that the best course of action would have been to have a private discussion. Their tension was only increased by the public back and forth. Whether Kim's remarks were constructive or merely critical was still up for dispute among fans. People's worries throughout Chrisean pregnancy appear to have been validated by the appearance of Chrisean Jr.'s leaked medical record online. Because of her lifestyle at the time, many had long questioned her parenting style and decisions. According to the material that was leaked, the child's health was not good. It implied that some of the problems might be related to Chrisean's use of drugs throughout her pregnancy. This has refocused attention on the cautions that were previously expressed. The previously disregarded conversations are now being revisited. By many, an already contentious story has become more tense as a result.
What was that in your system and your baby system? And for you weirdos that say I be lying, the only people who lied was her siblings and her friends and associates. Didn't they say the baby was healthy? Charity Ben told you guys his vision was messed up. You see him
for numerous concerns regarding the child's health that have previously been voiced were also validated by the stolen medical report, illicit fetal alcohol syndrome, as well as a number of other health issues. These problems appear to validate earlier warnings that were disregarded or dismissed. Those who had previously voiced their concerns are now feeling heard. It seems more obvious how the health problems and Chrisean pregnancy decisions are related. This has only served to intensify the continuous criticism directed at her parenting style. Another round of online public debate has been triggered by the release.
This part of the record says that the baby had fetal alcohol syndrome, neonatal abstinence, seizure disorder, spasticity, cortical visual impairment, and specialists that he'll need of neurology, orthopedic, otolaryngology, cardiology, gastroenterology, ophthalmology, pulmonology, and palliative
Pregnancy problems with little to no prenatal care and exposure to drugs like cocaine and painkillers have reportedly exacerbated Chrisean Jr.'s health problems. These specifics have sparked grave questions regarding Cashin's choices during that crucial time. Despite the child's persistent health issues and harsh public criticism, Chrisean doesn't seem to be impacted. When she was recently spotted bringing her infant inside a smoking shop, it immediately sparked criticism. The video went viral online and fueled the increasing backlash. A lot of people thought the incident demonstrated bad parenting. It sparked new debates about whether she was capable of raising a child. This led to even more criticism from supporters, who spoke their thoughts. Without holding back, some said they felt sorry for the baby and asked why. CPS hadn't intervened yet. Her decision to bring the child to a smoke shop at all was condemned by others. Several people recommended that rather than always bringing her son around, Chrisean think about hiring a nanny or asking family for assistance. In an Instagram message, one user even criticized the smoke shop's employees for allowing the infant inside. In reaction to the criticism, Chrisean stated that she is currently keeping her kid offline. She asserted that her child is perfectly healthy. In an interview with the Danza Project, "He's great," she said. "He's developing. I have purposefully kept him off the internet."
He's great. He's grown. I've been keeping him off the internet on purpose.
to Blueface is due to be released from prison. While coping with the consequences of the exposure of her child's medical records, signs of their troubled relationship are resurfacing. Though, it has been stated that Blueface instructed his father to gather Chrisean's belongings and relocate them from his home. Hey, it's time to go. Blueface reportedly informed Jonathan Porter Sr. this time. He is not playing. Chrisean appears to have paid a price for her careless decisions during her pregnancy. Despite previous warnings from critics and supporters, she continues to live in the same manner. She may have prevented her son from using the internet, but her behavior is really calling into question her status as a mother.